Alrighty, let's do this. Now, as you see in the title, about talking about all the games and more. Basically, it's really been a heck of a year. Games have been getting pumped out left and right from different studios. It's been really awesome from what I've seen. I've seen Too Fast, Too Furious possibly coming out, the Fast and the Furious game. Twisted Metal is possibly the originals getting a remake done, possibly. I'm looking forward to that. That sounds like that's going to be amazing in itself. Um, I would be looking forward to that, honestly, myself. And then today, just the way that all these games keep on coming out and the way that they're working on quality now. Now that you see AMD partnering up with Microsoft and Xbox, and the way that they're going about focusing on the quality now, finally, it's put where it needs to be. The quality is going to start showing up. That's what needs to show up. Now, if it shows up more in the studios and you start seeing changes in there, that's going to be a great thing. I'm hoping that after this year of all these games that do come out, that we start seeing changes as far as the games and they start getting made better. And that they don't come out in the half-baked state, that they start being created um, to a quality basis. That we start getting games that we've been asking for, but not just that. Games that are going to be worth investing in. Because not only that, everybody can agree. Life is chaotic, life is crazy. Sometimes you don't always have that time to sit down and invest hours in a game. Sometimes you don't have a chance because life can keep you busy. Doctor's appointments, your job, not just that, other things. Like if you have to take and be working on your car, or family needs you. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you could think of. Even whenever your work calls you up and says, hey, can you come in because I need you for this shift? I ain't got anyone else to take your spot. Can you do me a favor and come in for a little bit of extra time? Or if a family member calls you because a family member's sick. Sometimes there's going to be these moments where you're going to say to yourself, you're like, shoot, I got this video game, it's fun, it's cool, it's awesome, but because of things that come up in life, you're going to be like, shoot, am I going to really have time for this? And when you look at the game, the graphics, the just everything all over, the whole game itself, you also look at the game and say, all right, is this going to be a game that I'm going to enjoy and not a game that's going to make you want to set your controller down and be like, nah, I'm not going to go back to that. It's not keeping your interest. And that's where you have to think about um, you know, yeah, but yeah, that's what you have to think about. But yeah, truthfully, that's what you have to think about when you're gaming. Is it going to be a game that you could see yourself sitting there and having hours of engagement time with? And is it going to be a game that you're going to sink at least 80, 90, or $100 into? Like, look at Resident Evil 9, how fun that game's been for everybody. I've seen more people playing Resident Evil 9, 7, 8. I've seen more people that have engaged with Division 2 and others that have like piled up on these other games that they could tell that it's engaged them. And that's what you want. You know, you don't want these games that are not going to keep you going. The thing is, me being a gamer of almost 40 years, I love games that keep me thinking on my toes. I enjoy games that I can sit for hours playing, that I don't want to set the controller down because that's how I know it's engaging me. So, you know, it's like that's where you need to realize that, you know, but that's what you need to realize is if you're going to be investing, you know, into a video game, make sure that it's going to be a game that you're going to get hours out of. But sometimes we can all agree, life. So it's work-life balance, you know, and entertainment. You know, I love doing this job. I love sitting here talking to all of you, my audience. I love being a part of YouTube, being a live stream, making videos for all of you. I've been passionate about this hobby for almost 40 years. Quality of it. The enjoyment I get from all the games that keeps getting produced. It keeps getting made. What I've seen in gaming. The stories that I've managed to watch through all of these games have been amazing. All the work from all the studios, Capcom, Rockstar North, Take-Two Interactive, all of this has been the most spectacular thing. Going to a live WWE event in person. I used to wrestle just for fun. I'm a jack of all trades. I was a landscaper. I hung drywall for a living. I painted. Did masonry work. I was a carpenter. There's a lot that I've experienced. But the passion of video games and the passion for this hobby has always been something that I've always come back to. Besides music, besides movies, and everything else that I can think of, I've always returned right back to video games. And since I've been doing this for all of you, I have found myself playing video games again. So you guys lit that fire under me. and all these amazing video games coming out. Now, a lot of them on these other platforms, even on the Xbox platform, I might not play all of them, but I support video games entirely because the thing is, it's amazing what they're doing, the ways that they're finding to refine these games, to make them even more amazing, even more shocking. The awe factor, the stories that they continue to write time and time again. You know, it's amazing to see it. So I'm looking forward to the summer showcase, Fan Fest. I'm looking forward to what's to come even after that. Little tidbits I've been seeing about GTA 6. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Wolverine. I'm looking forward to everything that drops from here all the way into next year. And what I've seen from Project Helix, the chip that is going into that, is going to be amazing because it is going to push gaming to a whole new level. We are going to have gaming that is actually going to get pushed to where we never thought we would see it go. So it's going to be awesome, you know, when they do this. Now, yeah, it's going to come at a hefty price, but you know what? Tell me out there what would not come at a hefty price. Because the thing is, in order to have something that's major graphics and major frame rates and all the stuff they're putting into it, of course you're going to have to pay a little bit more for something advanced. But when you think about it, look how much you pay for a gaming PC, and compare the price that they're possibly considering for the Helix. And if you think about the price of the Helix, and then you think about the price of a gaming PC. A gaming PC that I've seen is $2,000 to $3,000. The Helix, now this is not the exact price, but what I'm hearing, and this is, you know, from my buddy Mag, you know, well actually I'm just going to say this right now. This is my prediction. If they're going to charge anywhere from $12,000 to or 1,200 or 1,500, right? Between those two numbers. And if you do your math, that's actually slightly cheaper. That is a little bit more of a decent price compared to a gaming PC. Because when I go into the stores and I see the gaming PCs, even the pre-built ones, the pre-built ones are more than 1,200 and more than 1,500. And it even depends on where you go in the store and where you go or what stores you go to. Because every store is different in every state and every place you go. So, you know, and what they're going to offer you. I mean, this is going to be a system that is going to play more games than you could ever think of. And what they're willing to, or what they're going to give. For the first time, you're going to have the ray tracing, the actual ray tracing, that they said that they're going to bring. You're going to have the whole other graphic side of it. So, there's going to be a lot that's going to show up. Now, that's next year. And like I've always emphasized, when it comes to a lot of these games, I wish that they would put more for 2027 and 2028, because the thing is, we already have a jammed year. Because there's all these games coming out this year. And as budgets get tighter for people, I don't know about your wallet, everyone, but my wallet, honestly, I have to budget every dime possible, just to make ends meet. So when you got a budget and make ends meet, that's really the thing here. That's why I think that they should stretch out some games into those 2 years, so that way people don't have to feel like it's a major obligation to have to buy a game in 2026 and feel like there's that pressure in their head. Oh, you must buy a game by 2026. No. Don't pressure your wallet into doing that, or pressure yourself into using your money for that, Because you gotta think common sense if there's things that are more important than just buying a game. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice because there's certain games out there that we all love, to sit there and play for hours, but we can't. Sometimes you gotta do the give and take, and sometimes we got to equally balance that stuff out, and decide what we're gonna do. Choose what's important, what's more important. So, now as far as, like I've said, as far as Asha Sharma, I do see her really, really making a difference. This year, no. Next year, yes. In my words, next year, it's going to be put up or shut up. Because the thing is, come next year, there's going to be a lot of assessments that are going to have to be done across all studios. Because you figure how much that they paid for Activision, Blizzard, and King. And this is Microsoft we're talking about. They paid for Activision, Blizzard, and King. So now they're going to have to look into it, or I should say Asha Sharma, and she's going to have to go around questioning. Same goes for just other studios too that's under their umbrella and under their tent. And she's going to have to be like, okay, show me your games, show me your numbers, and then explain to me why your games are not even selling. Explain to me why your sales numbers are not even rising for some of these games you're creating, and why we're not getting a player base. Now this is coming next year that I'm saying, because if she does not start to clean things up, then it's going to cause a jumbled mess. Because the thing is, these studios, that are not producing things well enough to get sales, it's going to hurt the company's image. Because these companies survive off of what we invest as gamers. That money we put in for those games that we are paying for, that's how they're making their money. Is when they're getting a bunch of sales off of the video games that are produced and put out. That is how these companies are making their profit. You know, they're not making their profit by not getting any of the money, you know, from the games and stuff like that, or from us not paying for them. You know, that's the thing. They do. You know, that's all they're making their bottom dollar. So they're going to have to assess a lot. They're going to have to look into stuff. They're going to have to see what's going on. You know, they have to. There's going to be a lot they're doing. There's going to be a lot they're going to have to be doing by next year to really clean things up. And I know it. Now, I've never been a corporate guy. I've never been a part of a corporate company. But I do know that they will have to be doing that. Yeah, because things are going to have to start changing. New regime, a new power is in place. But you know what? I don't see video games getting worse. I see them getting better as long as decisions that are made are better decisions, and they're decisions that are getting made to benefit gamers. Because there's one thing I want all these companies to take notice of. They need to take notice of us gamers that are constantly playing their games, that us as gamers, we love doing this hobby because the fact of the matter is you guys work so hard in making these stories for us that we're willing to invest in quality products that come out like these quality games. We understand it's tough times. We understand that things get tough. Things get tough for us too as gamers. But all we just need is games to be more quality. Yeah, and I bet you would see a lot more people buying games. You would see a lot more people investing. Because if you look at stores, it's the same thing. You look at stores, people are buying products in stores that are quality. Because if you ever notice, if something is made really well, it clears and sells right off of a store shelf. Like, say if you find something that looks really good and it's sitting on a store shelf, and then you go back there to get it because you didn't grab it the first time, and if it's not there, guess what? Somebody else got it. Why? Because it was made of good quality, and not only did you spot it, but another person spotted it, and they took it. So in other words, if you don't jump on the opportunity, someone else will. So that's the thing. It's all about opportunities that all of these industries have. You know, it's about the opportunity to be the first one to make that best quality game, that best quality product, whether it be controller, headset, console, software, it doesn't matter. But as long as it's made to the best quality, it's going to sell like mad. But you know what? Enough about the games. No. Yeah, the thing of it is, I'm still gonna love this passion. I love this hobby. Because either way, when it all comes down to it, we are never, ever going to see this go anywhere as long as us gamers continue to pick the controllers up and play. And one thing that you need to realize is that it's easy to get under pressure. Especially when you get these products, you're making them, you're sitting there for hours, days. You got all these deadlines to try to get a game out within a certain amount of time. And, it's just, there's a lot, that goes into it, but honestly, if you could take away from a few things that I've said when it comes to all of this, basically, straight up, the industry is changing. Yes, it is changing, and there are changes that are coming. So, I'm looking forward to this as it further progresses and goes on. But I can't wait to see. But every day that I pick up that controller, I'm just looking forward to new adventures, new things. It feels good to be doing this, to put myself into those stories of the games. Like, I'm looking forward to Division 3 as it's in full swing development. Like, I wonder where that story's going to go. How is that story going to play out? How is that going to go? The story of Agent Kelso, Aaron Keener, Manny Ortega and his wife. Like, see, these are stories like, you got that going on, Isaac. All of this stuff just, it wraps into your head. Because these are games that you've invested your time and you think about them. And when you can sit there and you can think about them, those are the games that you know are the best, because it's games that keep you submerged in them. Those are the games that keep you engaged. Because if you can continue to think about those stories even after you've played the game, those are the ones that mean the most. Because you're not even done thinking about them even after you play them. It's the same as Resident Evil 9 Requiem, that I've been playing it, and to me, such an amazing story, awesomely written, and if you guys are Resident Evil fans, I would say to go after it. For those of you that haven't played it, it's awesome to play. I'm on standard classic Resident Evil right now. That's the level I'm currently playing. But I've been enjoying it. Playing it. I can't say that there ain't a dull moment in it. Right now, As far as my health, I'm going to update you guys as far as that. So, that way you guys are aware. I found out the other day I was in the hospital. And the other day, I was there because I was doing some stuff in my house. And I went and sat on my couch. I couldn't move. I have arthritis in my cervical spine. Because I got an on the job injury, and yeah, it kind of sucks. But they told me that now the arthritis made its way to the lower lumbar. So basically, it's in my entire back now. So it took over my entire back. So basically, that's why at times I've been trying to make videos the best I can, recording the best I can to get them up here on the channel. I've been trying to get into a schedule. But sometimes if you don't notice videos getting up or shorts getting up there, I've also been trying to take some time for myself as well, because the pain has been so horrendous that there's times I have been staying up late because I can't fall asleep right away. So just wanted to let you guys know I am pulling through it. It is a fight every day, but I'm still staying strong. Still staying strong. Video games have helped because it distracts me. It keeps me from thinking and keeps me from staying out of my own head. And plus doing this for all of you is another thing that really keeps me going. So, but I am happy with what I do every day. Doing this stuff on the channel for all of you. Talking about video games and stuff. Who's excited? Speaking of video games, do I have any Twisted Metal fans out there? Anybody fans of the Twisted Metal series? Any fans of the Twisted Metal games? Or game? Because if you are a fan of it, you'll definitely be excited by this. They are definitely remaking Twisted Metal. I did see it on Facebook when I scrolled, and by the little article, it does look like they are going to put it into production. That they're wanting to put this into production for a Resident Evil remake. Now, I think that would be cool, because who remembers the last time Resident Evil was even in place? Or let alone, when's the last time anybody has seen a Resident Evil game, period? I could name a time. PlayStation 2. If you remember, PlayStation 2, Sweet Tooth, all of the characters. I can remember going into battles with the famous characters of Twisted Metal. When I figured out that game, boy oh boy I was like a devil roller. Man, did I have fun. That was a fun game to play. Twisted Metal, I got hours upon hours of enjoyment out of Twisted Metal. I can remember how many hours I would sit there and play it. Now, mind you, in my teenage years, I would stay up all night and sleep all day. That was my teenage years. Because the thing of it is, they didn't realize that I was having trouble sleeping. But these were just purely my teenage years, though. They wanted to do a test on me for sleep apnea because they were concerned. They thought I might have had sleep apnea. So, but Twisted Metal was a heck of a game in its time, whenever that was around. And I can remember just playing that. So I would be excited to see that return. Another game that I also put up a short on, Too Fast, Too Furious. I would love to see that game actually happen. Because honestly, a game like that, based off the movie, I think it's about time for something like that to happen. You know, there's a lot of movies that are out there, and not all of them have ever transformed over to film, or from film over to game. And I really think that they should start experimenting with some and see what they could do with some of them to see if they could actually make it into a video game. Another game I ended up seeing the other time was Fast and the Furious with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. Now, honestly, the Fast and the Furious, anybody who knows the Fast and the Furious movies, this definitely also needs to happen. Because I think it would be awesome for a Fast and the Furious game to be made based off the movie. Because anybody in my audience, feel free to comment, feel free to write, feel free to come in and just chat. But who would like to see a Fast and the Furious video game with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker where you could sit and you can run cars just like Paul Walker and Vin Diesel did? Because truthfully, to be able to do something like that would be awesome as heck. You know, to feel like you are in that. Imagine the cinematics possible that they could use to make something like that happen. I think that would be awesome. I think for the first time to do something like that would blow Forza Horizon 6 right out of the water. One, it would blow Need for Speed games out of the water. Like if they were to make a Fast and the Furious game based off the movies, it would really be something amazing. And to include Paul Walker's image as a memory to him, I think they should see what they can do. Just as a respect thing. Because in those films, Paul Walker was amazing. The way he could drive that car. And then Vin Diesel as a wheelman, he was one heck of a wheelman himself. You know? And the cars that they had in those films, those were some pretty bad A cars. I don't know how anybody else feels about those cars, but boy, oh boy, those are some bad A cars they drove in those films. So, but I've been seeing over the past few days just so many amazing games that have been dropping, so many amazing things that have been coming out and not coming out per se, but so many amazing things that have been dropping, especially like the anniversary 24 years for Crash Bandicoot, the possibility of a remake of True Crimes New York. Um, so but I'm not sitting here twisting anybody's arm. If you guys like the content I provide, I work hard, do my best at it, um, to really get to really make things happen. What I plan to do is I plan to get a gold tipped Ethernet cable to help things run a little bit better, to speed up my internet connection a little bit. Eventually, I do plan to get a better webcam for the setup for the channel. Things in small doses, though, because I can only afford so much at a time. Because how life gets, expenses. That stuff always comes first. Um, but I think it's been amazing. And I think that we are heading down the right path with the quality. If it just keeps up going that way, I think we're going to be good. But what's going to count the most is if we keep on going down this path and we remain staying focused on if Asha Sharma stays focused on assessing the studios and really looking into why certain games are turning out rough. It would be nice to see Game Pass go back down in price, but I don't think that that's what Sasha Nadella wants, or Amy Hood. That's just my personal feelings, because the thing of it is, their profits are still what they're focused on. And that's what they're mainly going to stay focused on, truthfully. Because I doubt because at the end of the day, you could have Asha Sharma be wanting to assess the studios. You can have her taking stock and seeing what she can do. But she's still... Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry about that, chap. But you can still have her doing all this. But at the end of the day, she's still going to have to answer to Amy Hood, and she's still going to have to answer to Satya Nadella. So she's still going to have to answer to those two, because those people are above her. So she might only be able to make certain decisions at a time, and it depends on how much leeway they are willing to give her and how much they are going to let her do with what they say. So, there's always that factor. But I think when it comes to the hard-hitting questions that need to be asked, I think that she ain't going to have a problem in that area. Because the thing of it is, so far she don't strike me as an individual that would have that issue. Because look, she partnered up Meta with Facebook. You have the Meta Quest headsets. You have Instacart, and you see how famous Instacart has grown. And she's been with Microsoft for 3 years. She might not know gaming, but just as being a boss, the experience. As long as you have experience in courage, you have courage in your position and the strength to be able to stand up and say and ask what needs to be asked. You know, as long as you are in your training, know the right things to ask in a boss position, that's where it's going to count. Because a boss has to have enough, how do they put it across? A boss has to have enough strength and enough intestinal fortitude to be able to ask the hard-hitting questions. And that boss has to be able to go and focus on a straight line to do what's right, even if it doesn't please everyone. Because the thing of it is, as a boss, you're not going to be able to keep everybody happy. Opinions about some things. Maybe I might push some issues a little bit more than others. But at the end of the day, I know how much pressure these companies are under because everyone's got a deadline. You know, like, okay, we got this video game, okay, everybody, we got to work on this, we got to finish all this detail over here and over there, and then we got to get it out by the date that they give us. Well, yeah, of course you do. You know, but, I mean, you think about it, the boss that's right there that supervises them, that's the pressure they're dealing with right there. And that's when those people have what they call the proverbial monkey on their back, so to speak. So, but I think as long as Asha Sharma, like, takes and focuses on, like, the games that are turning out shoddy and focuses on the main weak points of each of the studios and each of the things that are going wrong, I think she can do what she needs to do. And that goes for any company. I mean, that goes for even Sony, Nintendo. Yeah, that goes for every company, even Steam Deck. Yeah, that goes for Valve and Steam and all of them. Because you always have to, like, this big world of electronics, they all have to assess themselves, you know, to make sure. Because how is it that they're pumping out a quality product if they're not assessing to make sure that that product is definitely a quality product? You have to make sure your product's a quality product. Because they all know at the end of the day, people aren't going to buy it if it's not quality. People ain't going to invest in it if it's not quality. People just assume throw something away if it's like crappy and it's breaking apart and it's not even staying together. I mean, my goodness, who the heck would want anything shoddy? I wouldn't. I don't know about any of you. I mean, I'm sure all of you out there wouldn't want something that's not good. You know, a product that's just like a piece of crap, right? You don't want that. Who wants a controller half put together? Who wants a video game that is only partially created and then the rest is locked behind some kind of wall? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So, it's ridiculous. You know? And then all these disputes that these companies have eternally. Since when did all these companies eternally inside start fighting like kindergartners? What, you guys have some hidden playgrounds or something inside of your studios that, you guys are starting to run around and things are getting a bit sour? I mean, come on, guys. You're making video games for people. I understand it's a lot of pressure, and it's not easy. But we're not asking for much as gamers when all we're asking for is some quality games. That's all we're asking for, guys. We're not asking for you guys to bend yourselves or break yourselves. We're just asking for, the graphical engines that you're given, to use and put some more quality into the games. Figure out why things turn out rough. Just double check your stuff as you're making it, Realize that sometimes things might not be turning out like you think, before you put it out there. I mean, this might just be my opinion by myself, Now, if not everybody's standing with me on this, that's fine. But that's the way I feel. That's all we really look at as consumers, is the best things we could possibly have. Controllers, software. I mean, the box itself, the hardware, is good. Like, I love my Xbox Series X. It's done me good having it. It's just some of the software, some of the games that get made, turning out rough. Like some games that have glitches in it and stuff like that, it irritates me when you got those glitches in it and you figure the way that the hardware runs and the way that it all works, you would not think that you would experience these tiny little glitches and things. Just because of the fact of, the graphic engines that exist and all that out there, you would think they'd be looking for, new ways to make it better, new ways to improve it, new ways to work with it, to make sure that these games are being assessed deeply before release date. So that way when people go to invest in it, they know that they're getting the best game possible. But honestly, I really do think that I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that as long as they look eternally, that's really all they got to do. And I'm excited for Summer Showcase. You know, what they're going to show. Um, GTA 6 is definitely a game that I'm looking forward to. GTA 6 is my game of this year that is going to be added to my collection. For certain, it is a game going in my collection. Because, you know, I'm a huge Grand Theft Auto fan, a huge Rockstar North fan. Now, I could say I'm one of their hugest supporters. I don't really have any of their Rockstar gear that I have, but I could say I'm a huge supporter because the thing of it is, I've been playing Grand Theft Auto games all the way back since San Andreas. So I've loved the stories that they've told, the things that they've done with their games are amazing. The continued storytelling throughout the games, they have not disappointed at all with them. I haven't even been disappointed from what I've seen from them. So, the latest wrestling game, 2K26, I haven't even bought it, nor I'm probably not even going to invest. I did go through a mess with 2K because I couldn't verify my email. So that kind of made me have to swallow a bit of a bitter pill on that. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't bad. I just had to swallow a bit of a bitter pill because of the issue of trying to straighten that out and fix that. But other than that, I mean, I have no complaints because I didn't play it. Hopefully, I can get my 2K25 back up. I'm hoping to do some more Division 2 because they have been adding little tidbits of things in there when it comes to classified assignments and other things. So I'm hoping to get back on there to do a little bit more of some things. And if you hear my voice, yeah, I'm raspy and stuff because I take sleeping meds and all that too. So, but the thing is, there is so much. Sometimes when you're trying to talk about so many topics at once, it's like your brain just, slows down as you're trying to do a thought process and think. Which that does tend to happen to me. But honestly, now it's just sit back and wait a little bit because as we see as we're waiting for these games to drop and to come out, that's pretty much all we're waiting for right now. We're just waiting for these games to come. Summer showcase and stuff. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But right now, we are basically at an hour. So, this part right here, Talk with Top Gamer, this is the part of the show where if you want to come in and have a chat with me and talk with me, feel free. This is a point where I'm allowing people to talk with me. I mean, you could talk with me anytime, on the show and ask me questions about gaming. Or just shoot the breeze with me. I can tell you what inspired me to do this was when basically I was sitting one day. I had just had to walk away from my job, and I'm like, I see all these people recording videos and doing YouTube, talking about what they like about video games and stuff like that, and just talking video games and discussing the stuff on it and all that, and having audience interactions. I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Or, I'll give it a try. I was always a shy individual. Hard to believe, huh? As I'm sitting here talking right now. But the thing of it is, I'm like, I'm going to try this. Started it in 2022. And that's when it started. Now, on and off, I've been doing it. But truthfully, I just picked it up recently, not that long ago, because I'm like, I'm going to start doing this more often. Because I enjoy doing it. All of you that come and support, that tune in, that watch, that interact, all of you that talk and have conversations and tell me how cool it is, that I do good with the show, that you've liked the things I've done. You don't realize that when you guys say those things, how much it makes a difference. Especially for a person like me who hasn't always gotten good compliments. I grew up being bullied. Because when I was younger, I was bullied. I was pushed around. I was basically like the kid that everybody left out of things. And it was because of my intellectual disabilities. I wasn't always as smart as other kids. I wasn't always as intelligent as other kids. But when you would have me doing things of like taking things apart, putting it back together, you put me in front of a video game system, I could figure things out so brilliantly that it would be so amazing. And now as a grown adult and a father myself, and now as a YouTuber, I can't ask for anything more than what I got right here. Growing this channel with all of you. So basically that's pretty much where I've wound up after all the stuff I've been through. A lot of it's been rough, but I appreciate the continued support. If you want to further support the channel, click the like button, share, drop a comment if you feel like wanting to. Make sure your notification bells are always switched to all, so that way you'll always be notified when new content arrives on my channel. Because the AI on here will switch it back. You don't want that to happen, because then if it's switched back or switched to something else that it switches it to, you'll miss out on content that I drop. But I try to drop shorts. Like I have a bunch of shorts up about a couple of games that I have seen throughout the past couple of hours, let alone past few days, of certain things that might be coming out. Rumor speculation. I don't know if half of them are true, because you know how it is sometimes. Sometimes they can say that it's going to be true, and then it might not be true, so you never know with things, but we can hope, can't we? Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we should hold on to as gamers is we can hope for these things to drop or to come out, because it would be nice to see them. It would be awesome. So I just hope we end up seeing some of these things that I have put up on my channel to come out, because I think it would be cool. So I'm gonna have to jump off of here because eventually I'll be getting some rest myself, with all the stuff I've been going through. But I just wanted to come on and do a live show, at least a decent one. I mean, it might be an hour and some minutes per day. It's still a live show. So, but like I said again, you don't have to do it, but it's there. If you want to help support the channel, click like, share, leave a comment down below if you enjoy it, and make sure your notification bells are always on all, so you'll be seeing new content as it arrives. So take care, y'all, and I will catch